This video was brought to you by Thunderful. I'm telling you, just ignore the frog. We've been through this. Like it's just a frog. Leave it alone. Oh, I'm getting another call. I'll talk to you later. Love you, Mom. Hello?
Is this the furry blue Nintendo YouTuber?
You're gonna have to be more specific than that.
This is Magnus Bloodstrom, King of Thunderful Group.
Thunderful? You publish games, right? But I thought your CEO was that one guy. What was his name?
I did not say CEO. I said King. All executive leadership bows to me.
Okay, to what do I owe the pleasure, my lord?
Planet of Lana II, Children of the Leaf, releases on all major platforms in 2026. And we wish to communicate this to the video game playing masses under your thrall.
I just call them fans, but tomato, tomato, I guess.
How many times have you played the original Planet of Lana, and how greatly did you enjoy it?
I hate to break it to you, but I never really got around to playing it.
How can this be? You expressed great interest in the game during its initial marketing campaign.
I'm sorry, you know how it goes. There's just like too many games to play, man. My liege.
This must be rectified immediately.
Look, Mr. Bloodstrom, Your Majesty, I really just don't have the time to fit in another game right now. I'm working on this Pokemon review, and I don't even have room on my Switch. Ah! What just happened?
Planet of Lana has been installed on your Switch. Play it immediately, or suffer my wrath. In the form of persistent emails.
All right. I'll play the game, okay? Did you delete Pokemon to make room?
You're welcome.
The cinematic platformer is such a tricky genre to pull off. If you get it just right, it can make for an incredible experience. But that's so much easier said than done. These games generally feature relatively small, slow characters without a lot of attack power, navigating big, dangerous worlds. That's what sets them apart from regular action games, and it's also why the gameplay is usually about puzzles and stealth more than anything. Thing is, if you focus too much on that cinematic part and skimp on the gameplay, your game might be kinda boring. But lean a little too hard on the puzzles or the stealth or even the platforming itself, and you risk grinding progress to a halt too often and overwhelming the player, thus shattering the atmosphere. Planet of Lana is a rare game that gets it all right. It delivers a breathtaking artistic experience while keeping its design and mechanics in perfect balance from start to finish. The game stars a young girl named Lana, whose life is upended when her idyllic fishing village is ravaged by invading robots and her loved ones are carried away in cages. Soon after, she makes friends with a funny little creature named Mui, and the two of them work together to progress through the world and find Lana's people. The companion character you have to issue commands to and keep safe is such a huge risk in any game, and yet they pulled it off here, flawlessly. The mechanics are just deep enough to be consistently engaging, but still simple enough so that you'll never find yourself retrying sequences because you didn't pull something off just right, or you were fumbling with the controls in a big hurry. You can tell Mui to either follow you or wait in one spot. You can tell them to jump up on ledges or interact with out-of-reach objects. Eventually, you even gain the ability to manipulate other creatures using Mui. It's all easy to pick up and works really well. Mui is only an asset, never a liability. They never get in the way, and they're always great at keeping up with you. It's consistently fun to watch them effortlessly bound around everywhere. So the mechanics and how they function hit that sweet spot, but then it's the level design itself that really sticks the landing. The puzzles always maintain that perfect balance between depth and simplicity. Relatively few moving parts so you don't get confused or overwhelmed, but still highly satisfying to solve. There's a real elegance to them. And stealth sequences, these are always so risky, especially when you've got a partner character to worry about. They can make a game very tense, but if the player fails and is forced to retry one too many times, then it's just annoying and frustrating. But again, Lana nails it. It's just tricky enough to give you that little gut-clenching feeling, but if you understand the mechanics, it's never too hard to pull off. Stealth sequences are basically their own kind of puzzle where you've got to figure out how to get through, but usually with a lot more emphasis on speed and timing. This is where the platforming really comes into play. The movement is a bit slow, as is the case with basically any cinematic platformer, yet it's never frustrating, it's very forgiving, the game never demands too much of you. You're always tested just enough. And it's incredible how the designers have woven all this together. The design progression and the pacing of these sequences is just stellar. Ideas are developed precisely enough, never more than that. Every time the game feeds me another puzzle of an old type, there's some little new spin on it. Every time I'm feeling a little puzzled out, the game moves on to something else. Every time I get a little bit full of stealth, it eases up. Later in the game, there were some sequences where I was like, ugh, I really don't think I'm in the mood for more of this. But then it was like the game knew and made them just a little bit simpler than usual. So it could maintain the intensity of the scenario, deliver some of that cinematic goodness without weighing me down, without creating any unhelpful friction. This is truly Goldilocks level design. It's always just right. There may have been a couple times when some of the puzzle types might have been repeated just a hair too much. There maybe could have been just a little bit more variety overall, but it's hard to complain when it's all this enjoyable. And the back and forth between the characters is always so clever. These relatively simple mechanics paved the way for some really fun ideas. Lana and Mui are each highly capable in their own unique ways, and progress depends entirely on constant teamwork. It's pretty much the most you can possibly command and utilize a secondary character without controlling them outright. So again, it's that balance between simplicity and depth. And that perfectly balanced, practically frictionless design kept me open and ready to absorb the game's presentation at all times. Which is a real blessing because presentation-wise, Planet of Lana is quite the feast. It uses a really lovely blend of 2D and 3D art, often with a soft, painterly style. The environments are so grand, so fantastical. Always these sweeping vistas and massive machines and structures and trees to make you feel so tiny. The art design is extraordinary, the set pieces are breathtaking, stop moving practically anywhere, and you're looking at something you would probably not mind hanging on your wall. And that's always the mark of a good, modern cinematic platformer right there, isn't it? It's one of those things. Every single shot is composed like its own little art piece. Every frame a painting, that kind of thing. Simply sumptuous visuals from title screen to credits. Then the sound design is equally impressive. This is a game you have to play with headphones so you can take in every little sound. The chest vibrating thrum of the machinery, the disgustingly wet slithering of the creepier creatures, the weird, often unsettling ambient sounds of this alien wilderness. There's no discernible dialogue here. Instead, the characters speak in a fictitious language. So it maintains a comfortable level of escapism, but still manages to feel so human. You still get all of the story, you still feel all of the emotion, and you even start to pick up on what some of the words and phrases mean, which is really interesting. Mui has got this super cute little voice, I just love it, and listening to the two characters interact, it's so charming. The game effortlessly builds such a natural chemistry between them, thanks to a lot of thoughtful little details. Mui will randomly make a funny noise, and Lana will giggle. You can even bend down and pet Mui whenever you want. Then there's the score. A good cinematic score is naturally essential for a game like this, and yet I am still very impressed by how they've woven it so seamlessly throughout the experience. The music is so reactive and dynamic. Sometimes the cues are tied to such quick actions, and it all works so well it feels like they watched my gameplay first and scored it after the fact. And that's pretty much always what you're going for in a game, but yeah, easier said than done. And this exquisite blend of art and sound and music makes it easy to get lost in every moment. I mentioned the pacing, but I really can't praise it enough. As with practically all modern cinematic platformers, there are plenty of sequences where you're really just going right for a bit. This is probably where a game might lose some people, especially those looking for more traditionally challenging platformers and puzzle platformers that are, heavier on the gameplay elements. There is a level of patience required for a game like this because it is very, very heavy on the feel and the atmosphere. To me, It's these in-between sequences that act as the tissue tying the entire thing together. They're the breather between activities, the palate cleanser when you get a chance to forget the danger and the puzzles and everything, and simply exist in this world. That's not to say that these sequences are empty. Every single pause in the gameplay, every sequence where you're just going right, says something, shows you something interesting about the world, establishes a new emotional through line, builds or releases tension, transitions the player into a new environment. Not a single moment of this game is wasted, and every one of these moments helps tell a story. Excellent environmental storytelling here. The greater plot is simple enough. Again, there's no real dialogue, and you really are just trying to get to the end. And yet, every step of the way, you learn about these people and this world. You slowly piece together what's going on. Many details are left ambiguous, but what do you know? More of that perfect balance. It's just ambiguous enough that I get to enjoy the satisfaction of interpreting what's going on in my own way, filling in some of the gaps myself, while still feeling like the story being directly communicated is perfectly coherent and enjoyable. And on a personal level, this game quite simply hits me in all my weak spots. It's so much of what I love about sci-fi, all the bizarre futuristic tech, but then seeing it juxtaposed against the idyllic natural environments of an alien world with its unique landscape and creatures and all that. It's an incredibly human story of two tiny beings relying on each other and taking on something so impossibly huge. Thematically, it's practically everything I could want. Finally, let's talk performance. I played Planet of Lana on PC and Switch to compare the two, and I have to say, the Switch version is a perfectly good choice. There are some compromises, which is to be expected. Primarily, it's the resolution. It's a good bit lower, so there's some aliasing, particularly on the 3D assets. It still looks great though, especially when playing handheld, which is likely why you'd want the game on Switch in the first place, so there you go. If there's a slightly bigger issue on Switch, it's that the frame rate hitches occasionally. It's not necessarily when there's a lot going on. If anything, it seems kind of random, so I imagine it could be caused by the game loading in new stuff as you move forward, maybe? But yeah, you get these weird stutters here and there. Fortunately, it's not a deal breaker in the slightest and really doesn't get in the way, but it is something worth noting. Otherwise, the experience is great on Switch. The cinematic platformer is such a tricky genre to pull off, yet you wouldn't know it playing Planet of Lana. It expertly balances every one of its elements every step of the way. The designers clearly paid very close attention to every aspect of the user experience, from the broad strokes to the finest details. It's about 5 hours long, which is, big surprise, the exact sweet spot for games like this. Short enough that it doesn't overstay its welcome, long enough that it feels really substantial and you're not left wanting. It's really intense and positively horrifying in parts, yet it's never too gruesome or violent. So it's got a real accessible wholesomeness to it. Its story is simple, yet still very moving, and okay, fine. I'll admit it right now, I cried like a little bitty baby, okay? Multiple times. Are you happy? I consider Planet of Lana to be a perfect example of the genre, and one of the most enjoyable gaming experiences I've had in years. What can I say? I love running right. Look, we talked about this. Bugs! They eat bugs! But you don't have to worry about any of that. They do it themselves! I'll call you back. Hello? Good morning to you, too.
It is not morning in Sweden.
Whatever.
Did you play Planet of Lana?
Yes, I played the game and I enjoyed it very much.
Then you will be prepared to play Planet of Lana II, Children of the Leaf, when it launches on all major platforms in 2026.
Yep, and I'll be sure to play it right at launch. I won't miss it this time. I promise.
This pleases me. Now I have another question for you. Have you played Viewfinder?
That was that puzzle game, right? It looked really good, but no, I never got around to play. What is this? What did you just do?
Get playing, mortal.
No.